What's up YouTube? This is Ramy from Ramy Enigma here, coming at you with a deck profile for Cardfight Vanguard. I recently attended the Huddersfield Team League on June 20th, so the Saturday just gone. Me and my teammates, we were all playing from Scunthorpe, Team BDSM. We got 13th, which considering I only started playing the game properly about 6 months ago, is actually pretty good. I only dropped I dropped 3 games, and we, as a team, we lost 2 rounds. So we didn't do too bad. We got 13th, as I've said, so that was good. I was playing Arakami. My teammates were playing not Shadow Paladin, sorry, Royal Paladin and No Grapplers. Specifically Cat Butlerizer, because I've played that deck and it's fun. So much fun. So yeah, I'm going to go through the deck profile now. Using the starter Brawler fighting Draco Kid. This put in a lot of work, more work than if I was running Spark Kid Dragoons, which I had wanted to run, but after what happened last weekend, I'm more than happy to run Draco Kid. Basically, if you're in Legion, you put it into Soul to activate its skill, and then if you're in Legion and one of your opponent's rearguards hits the drop zone, you can counterblast one and retire the rearguard in the same column. So it helps with a mass removal when you use it with Big Bang Knuckle Buster, because that is fun. I'll go through the Stride deck before I go into the main deck. For the one-offs, I was running 1 Zoras. I didn't really stride into that. I only really used it to pay the cost for Blizzard and Turbo when I needed it. But on hit, you can retire your opponent retires a rearguard, and then you bind 2 cards from their drop zone, so it can really mess with Legions as well. Can mess with VX the End, those kind of decks. Anything that relies on certain cards being in their hand, but they would recycle back for Legion, you can take advantage of it while it's in the drop zone. So that's also fun. I was doing 1 Snow Element Blizzard. On attack, if you counterblast and flip any G unit face up, gains 5,000 for each face up G unit in your G zone. So late game, this is ridiculous. Didn't really do a lot with it. I mean, I strode into it once when my entire G zone was just face up, so it gained 35,000. Which meant it was swinging for 68,000, and the opponent just looked at me just like, no god. Because he burnt through all his perfect cards, so that was fun. I'm running 2 Conquests. You can Persona him, and if you do, and you have 2 or more face-up units in your G-Zone, retire a front row rear guard, and then your entire front row gains 5,000 for each open rear guard circle in the front row that they have, which is pretty dank. Put in a lot of work, especially when you're trying to this towards the late game when your opponent has, say, 5 cards in hand and 3 or 4 damage, because it means they have to put in so much work to guard, and then their counter is not strong. Because when I was striding this, at some point I would end up either dealing 2 damage or dealing 2 damage with 1 attack, and then they guarded the rest. So it still put on a lot of pressure, and it meant I wasn't going through the big units. And then my favourite card of the day by far, the new Brawler Stride, True Brawler Big Bang Knuckle Turbo. You can Cow Blast 1, Soul Blast 1, as well as flip over any G unit in face up. And it can attack 3 units for each of your heart cards. So if it's not in Legion, if your heart is not in Legion, it'll just be attacking 3 units. But if your heart is in Legion, you attack 6, which is ridiculous. And then for each face-up copy of itself in the G-Zone, it also gains 5,000 power. So the first time you stride into it, 5,000. The second time, it can either be 10,000 or 15, depending what you flip up. Once I flipped up Zoras, and then all the other times was just flipping over another turbo, because I didn't need the 4 turbo. I only needed 2, but I needed to run the other 2 to pay for the cost. So that was the units I was running for the G zone. And for the main deck, I was running 4 of the Cross Ride for Brawlers, Big Bang Knuckle Buster. It's Legion skill, counterblast 1, and take a Big Bang Knuckle card from your hand and put it into the Soul. It gains 5,000, and it can attack any 4 of your opponent's units in one go. Typically, you'd want to aim for the entire opponent's front row, and the unit that was boosting behind the Vanguard, because that's the best way to take advantage of Draco Kid's skill. It's the only cross-ride Legion, I think, so obviously if you put a copy of the other version, which is Knuckle Dragon, into the soul, then it instantly regains the 2000 power, which means it's even hitting for more. It's hitting for 27,000 unboosted. Big Bang Knuckle Dragon, on attack, if you Soul Blast, it gains 3000, that's just a general skill, but it's Legion skill. If you a special Counter Blast 2 cards, it gains 5000 and can attack your opponent's entire front row. So it's sort of it's basically a Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion, except it gains more power for less cost. All you have to do is a special Counter Blast, and you have to be in Legion, so. Grade 2s. I was running 4 of Buster's Legion Mate, which was Slash Buster. Whenever your Vanguard with Big Bang Knuckle hits, this gains 3000. That's every time it hits. So if you attack 4 units with this, and say the opponent perfect guards the Vanguard but lets the rest die, it gains 9000 because it hit 3 units still, which is ridiculous. And then it's just an 11k attacker if you have a Big Bang Knuckle Vanguard. So that's great. I was running 4 of Knuckle Dragon's Legion Mate, which is Slash Dragon. When your Vanguard with Brawler hits, gains 3000, which means even when you're at grade 2, if you have 2 of these in the rear guard and your Vanguard hits, they'll just gain 3000. Later on, they can gain up to, again, I think the highest these can gain is 18,000 on a really good day. But that would have to be ridiculous, and they would have to knock guard anything turbo. Also, and the other 3 I was running, I was gonna run the 12k attacker if I had them, but I didn't. So I was running 3 Sky Howl. I don't regret running the Sky Howl because my teammate was just laying into me for not having the 12ks on me, and I just said I'll deal with the Sky Howls. I'm pretty sure they'll help, and just that. Saving the Sky Howls for the conquests just made it so my entire front row was gaining 10k every time I strode into it. And Conquest run me so many games, it's ridiculous. Sky Howl, Counter Blast 1, retiring the opponent's front row rear guard. So basically it means you're taking away an extra rear guard, and then there's Conquest, which will take away the other one and give your entire front row 10k, which is too strong. So that's all the grade 2s I was running. Grade 1s, I was running 4 Tonfa Brawler Arc. I can never say his name right. When you're in Legion, if your opponent's rear guard hits the drop zone, gains 3000 power. You can gain anywhere between 3000 and 12,000, because unfortunately this does not work when you strode into turbo. But you know, life's not perfect. Still a 19k booster at tops. It's basically a Bruno. It's the Brawler version of Bruno in its own way. 4 Wild Clock, 10k attacker or 20k attacker if you have conquested, which is great. Perfect guard wise, most people are running just complete either 4 of the old perfect guards or 4 of the new perfect guards, but I'm running both. I'm running 3 of the new ones and then a single Gould, purely because the X players, if they swing into your rear guard, I would rather lose the rear guard than let them have double twin drive. So, plus it stops Laurel pushes, which again, Laurel wasn't much of a problem, but yeah, I was just anticipating it, so I didn't obviously know what was going to be run on the day. I had to go with it. And then the other 2 cards I was running, most people would run Rising Phoenix, but I ran 2 Tokon. I didn't have Rising Phoenix, and quite frankly, I'm kind of glad I wasn't running Rising Phoenix, because this just Soul Blasts. It means it just takes away your soul, so you have to re-ride over your Legion just to get a Rising Phoenix off, which you don't need to do looking back at it. Plus after Conquest, gains 10k. This is again a 10k attacker, but it's if your opponent's front row has no rear guards in it, so it works well after Conquest, but gotta really go with it there. In terms of triggers, I was running my standard layout, which is 8 crit, 4 draw, and 4 heal. I would have played more. I would have played more copies of crits, like different copies of crits, but it was just the Big Bang Knuckle. I was seeing the Big Bang Knuckle Dragon more than the Knuckle Turbo. No, Knuckle Buster and Knuckle Turbo, because sometimes the opponent couldn't ride into grade 3 fast enough, so just kind of seemed unnecessary because I needed these special counterblasts more than the mind games. So that being said, that's the deck I was running. My teammates, respectively, they were running Cat Butler Riser, which is funny. As soon as your opponent nullifies their Mega Flare attack, you just retire a Cat Butler, stand them both because one's a grade 2. Swing again, they nullify it again, just keep on looping it. My other partner was playing Saver Dragon, which is obviously meta right now. I might as well do a actual round report while I'm here. Round 1, we were against the three generation protagonist decks. So we were against Gear Chronicle. It slipped my mind now. Gear Chronicle, Royal Paladin, and Neo Nectar. We sweeped that one. I was against Gear Chronicle. He was tucking away. He kept tucking away this, and I understand why. He had Pegasus. He started into Pegasus and switched my rear guards out, and I ended up with this again. And after he swapped back the Slash Buster, that was the only thing worth swapping back, because the only two choices were a crit and a perfect guard. So he really didn't like this, and I didn't need it. I just kept on pressuring him with turbo and such until he had no hand or rear guard left. It was funny. Game 2, we got sweeped 3-0. What decks were we against? We were against Phantom Blaster Abyss. I don't remember what Cat Butler Riser was against, and I was against Yggdrasil, CEO Yggdrasil for Genesis, and I didn't like that matchup. Brawlers can only work if you're sort of putting pressure on their rear guards, but the player was keeping their rear guards in their hand to guard, and using their soul to bump their CEO to... highest they got to was 69,000 with a crit. I had a perfect guard. Doesn't work. Could not perfect guard, so... what do? Round 3, I was against the Diusha Legion. Well, Die-Earth Diusha Legion. He's pretty alright there. His laurels kept on ending up in the drop zone, so he couldn't put the pressure on, and I kept taking his pressure on board away. He just couldn't keep up. It's Brawlers. Round 4, I lost to Great Nature. Yeah, I lost to Great Nature, but my teammates were able to win their game, so win their games, so they made up for it, thankfully. Round 5, we got beaten 2-1. I lost to a different Die-Earth deck. He got his laurels. I can't say anything else about it. I wasn't seeing my perfect guards. He was getting his laurels. Not much to do about it. We were at table 7 then as well, which really annoyed the other two, but we just had to deal with it and get on with it. After that, I didn't drop any more games. Those were the only 3 games I dropped. Round 6, I beat... what did I beat? I don't remember what I beat. That's the really bad thing. I don't remember what I beat. Round 7, that was at table 8. I was against Royals. It was an Outmile deck. Well, I get the feeling it was Outmile Thingsaver, but there was no evidence of the Thingsaver. Wait, no. That's right. Round 6, I beat Outmile. Round 7, I faced Narukami, as in Dragonic Vanquisher and Kaiser Vermilion / Crimson. I beat that pretty soundly, which is amusing because at the start he just made the comment that neither of us were going to have rear guards, when it turned out he was the only one who was not going to have rear guards, because he timed his push with Conquest wrongly, and then straight after I went into my Conquest and used Sky Howl and punished him, so it was ridiculous. I just had so much momentum he couldn't do anything. Round 8 was against Nova Grapplers, Extreme Battlers. I just feel sorry for the person, because Nova grapplers against Brawlers, you can't have rear guards. You're not allowed them. He didn't have a very good time, unfortunately. He did get a heal trigger towards the end, but thankfully I had let myself get to 5 damage, so it didn't work because he was only at 4. Other than that, if he had used up his entire hand just before he got that as well. So if he had got the heal, he would have survived. If he had got the heal effect, he would have survived and quite potentially beaten me in the turn after. But thankfully, he didn't survive, and I managed to win. So that was great. I also managed to meet up with some of my friends there, some that I judged UK Nationals with. A couple from the local area, and some from from just over the Humber River, which was awesome. So yeah, that was my Team League profile. I want to give thanks to the people who ran the event. It was well run, definitely better well run than the Yu-Gi-Oh regional that took place there about 6-7 months before. So honestly, that was one of the best run events I've seen. They'd run it really well. Obviously, some people just weren't reporting their wins, which delayed it a little bit. But in the end, the top cut was started by about 4:30, so it was all good. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and as always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. I will be trying to get some more Vanguard deck profiles out in the coming days. They'll be uploaded overnight because well, I always use my tablet, so I need to upload at a time I'm not using it, and that's the best time to do it. So yep, thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more Vanguard videos, and I will see you again later.